Talmud Bavli, Maseches Beitza 3a. It is a preventative measure lest one climbs a tree and plucks its fruit. But this is itself only a preventive measure. Should we then come and enact one preventive measure to safeguard another preventive measure? Both are one preventive measure. Rav Yitzchak said, it is a preventive measure on account of the consuming of juices exuding from fruit. The exuding of juices coming from fruit. Said Abai to him, what is the reason that juice exuding from fruit on a festival is forbidden? It is a preventive measure lest one purposely squeezes out the juice. Thus, this is itself only a preventive measure. Should we then come and enact one preventive measure against the breach of another preventive measure? Both are one preventive measure. All the other rabbis do not explain, as Rabbi Nachman does, in accordance with our objection. Likewise, they do not explain as Rabbah, because they do not accept his rule of Hakana. But why does not Rabbi Yosef explain as does Rav Yitzchak? He will answer you, an egg is food, and fruit is food, excluding juice, which is not food, but a beverage. And why does not Rav Yitzchak explain, as does Rav Yosef? He will answer you, an egg is enclosed in the hen, and juice is enclosed in the fruit, excluding fruit, which is exposed all the time. Rav Yochanan also is of the opinion that it is a preventive measure on account of the consuming of juices exuding from fruit. For Rav Yochanan pointed out a contradiction between one statement of Rav Yehuda and another statement, and also reconciled it. We have learned, you may not squeeze fruit to bring out juice, and even if the juice exuded of itself, it is still forbidden. Rav Yehuda says, if the fruit was intended as an eatable, what exudes is permitted. If it was kept for its juice, then what exudes is forbidden. So we see that according to Rav Judah, what exudes from anything kept as eatables is regarded as food separated. Contrast this with the following. Rav Judah further said, one may stipulate on the first day of the New Year festival with respect to a basket of the fruit, and eat it on the second day. Similarly, an egg is laid on the first day, may be eaten on the second, only on the second, but not the first. And Rabbi Yochanan answered, the statement must be reversed. Now, since he, Rabbi Yochanan, contrasts them with each other, infer from this that there is one and the same reason. B. Masechtas Beitza 3b. Ravina says, in reality, you need not reverse the authorities for Rabbi Yehuda. was speaking from the point of view of the rabbis. Thus, according to my view, the egg is permitted even on the first day because this food is separated from the hen. But according to your opinion, you should at least agree with me that it is permitted on the second day, for they are two distinct days of holiness. And the rabbis answered him, no, the 2 days are one continuous day of holiness. Rabina, the son of Ula, says, we are dealing here with a hen kept for laying eggs, and Rabbi Yehuda is consistent with his view, for he holds the interdict of muktzah. An objection was raised. Both an egg laid on Shabbat and an egg laid on the festival may not be moved to cover therewith a vessel, nor to support therewith the leg of a bed. But a vessel may be placed over it so that it should not be broken. And if in doubt, it is forbidden. And if it got mixed up with even 1,000 eggs, they are all forbidden. This is well according to Rabbah, who says that it is on account of preparation. Then it is a doubt with respect to a biblical prohibition, and every doubt with respect to a biblical prohibition must be decided with stringency. But according to Rav Yosef and Rav Yitzchak, who say that it is a preventive measure, then it is a doubt with respect to rabbinical enactment. Every doubt with respect to rabbinical enactment is resolved with leniency. The last clause of the text deals with a doubt of trefa. If so, consider the latter clause. And if it got mixed up with 1,000 eggs, they're all forbidden. Now, if you say the doubt is whether the egg was laid on a festival or on a weekday, it is well, because the egg is an object which can become otherwise permitted, and any object which can become otherwise permitted is not neutralized even in 1,000 times its quantity. But if you say that it is a doubt of trefa, then the egg is an object which cannot become otherwise permitted and should therefore be neutralized by a greater number than itself. And if you answer an egg is valuable and is not neutralized by a greater number, this would be correct according to him who says, we learned whatsoever one is wont to count. But according to him who says that we learned that which one is wont to count, what is to be said? For we have learned, if one has trusses of fenugreek, of klaim, of a vineyard, they are to be burned. If they got mixed up with others, and these again, with others, are they all to be burnt? This is the opinion of our mayor. The sages say the forbidden trusses are neutralized in a majority of the proportion of 1 to 200. For a mayor used to say that which one is wont to count when selling qualities. The sages say only 6 things render the whole prohibited. Rabbi Akiva says 7, and they are as follows: the nuts of Perak, pomegranates of Badon, casks, spigoted, beetroot tops, cabbage stalks, and Greek gourds. Rabbi Akiva adds also the loaves of a householder. Those mixtures which are subject to the law of Orla impart prohibition of Orla, and those who are subject to the law of Klaim of a vineyard impart the prohibition of Klaim of a vineyard. And it was stated thereon so that Rabbi Yochanan said, we learned that which one is wont to count when selling. And Rish Lakish said, we learned whatsoever one is wont to count when selling. Now the text would be well according to the opinion of Rish Lakish, but according to the opinion of Rabbi Yochanan, what can be said? Rabbi Papa replied, this Tana is the author of the teaching concerning the litra of dried figs, who says that anything which is sold by number, even though its prohibition is a rabbinical enactment, is not annulled. How much more so when it is biblical? For we have learned, if a litra of dried figs was pressed upon the top of a jar and he does not know on which jar it was pressed, or on the top of a barrel, and he does not know on which a barrel is pressed on, or on the top of a basket, and he does not know on which basket was pressed. Right? Mary maintains that Rabbi Eliezer